Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale Trust max profit target Fibonacci retracements, and we're also going to go over Bitcoin and the recent inflows that we told y'all we were going to talk about with the whales and the institutions. So with that being said, let's get it. All right, so you can see Bitcoin currently is at $60,900, roughly about 61,000. So okay, we had a little bit of a pullback after breaking that previous high up there, but again, we did just post this on X. You guys will see this in the morning, but generally speaking, before you make higher highs, you usually have to make higher lows. Okay, that's not always the case, but during a lot of situations, that is actually the case. Okay, so I'll show you guys an example of that right now. Okay, so we have a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. You kind of get the point here, right? In order for a bull trend to actually take place, there has to be a series of higher highs and higher lows, which means that this move on Bitcoin has to get a higher low first before moving higher past this previous first higher high that we got here. Okay, and you can see the line drawn out here. Now, I'm not expecting this to play exactly out to the line. That would be pretty weird. This is just a random line. I don't know that it's necessarily going to play out like that. We'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, you can see throughout history here, every single time, the RSI, kind of the MACD golden cross convergence, breakout of the RSI with the golden cross, and then eventual breakouts of all these prices here. I mean, I've literally gone over this with you guys countless times. Here, and even back here during the mid 2021 drop, and then we eventually ripped to a new all-time high, and then even back here in 2020 after the pandemic, we kind of went sideways shortly after that, but then eventually ripped to the upside. So let's go over the actual inflows. Okay, so this is over on X. So credit to Ki Young Ju. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Sorry if I butchered your name, dude. So it says, if you're a new whale who just entered this bull run and bought Bitcoin from old whales and your profit is currently plus 1%, would you dump your bags on retail investors now when you're only up plus 1%? The answer to that question is probably no. Okay. I mean, yeah, these whales have a lot of money. Sure, 1% gain for these whales is massive. I mean, for example, if let's just say, that particular whale has, let's just say 100 million. Okay, 100 million is a lot, but it's not huge. Okay, when I say whale, I'm talking like it could be anything from $1 million to 10 or 100 billion. It kind of depends. Like, the money amount is not the point. The point is that they're a whale. They have like 100, 1,000, 10,000 of whatever token they have. So if you have 1% of 100 million and you make a 1% profit, well, that's $1 million. But if you think Bitcoin is going to double in price, and again, there are some position traders that kind of trade in and out of the swings, but if you think it's going to double in price, well, would you rather make $1 million or would you rather make 100 million and double your money? And again, that applies to each whale. Every whale is different, but kind of the point of this chart, and I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I can tell you all, looking at this from my perspective, is pretty straightforward. Okay. You have a stupid amount of money in new whales, i.e. institutions. I mean, they could be people besides institutions, but they're probably mostly institutions on this blue line or blue parabolic curve you see here. Stupid levels of money from these institutions are going into Bitcoin on this massive ramp. Okay, throughout this entire chart, have you seen anything this parabolic? No. Okay, literally nothing on this chart has been like literally a straight line up like this. Do you think the institutions would be investing hundreds of millions, billions, or even tens of billions of dollars if they thought that the price was just going to drop, or if they planned to basically sell the market off? No, they're not going to do that, because again, if they sell the market off with this kind of volume, it's going to dump the monetary value of their positions too. So why the heck would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. Would you put $10 million in a market and then short the very same market that you're in just for your $10 million to go to zero? Probably not. So look, when I look at this chart, I'm seeing this one of two ways. Okay. The move that we're going to get out of this falling channel, and I'll go over the actual patterns here in a minute, is extremely bullish. Okay. This volume going up into this sideways down consolidation is basically just an explosion to the upside waiting to happen. And in terms of the new whales, I mean, these guys, this line here is mostly flat. So this could be one of two ways. Either they're just holding because they realize that institutions are here, Bitcoin maybe going to $500,000. And they're like, well, you know what? My average cost, let's say, is $30,000 per Bitcoin. I don't really want to sell here. Maybe I'll wait till it gets to like 500,000. Okay. Or the other thing is they already bought all their, like, the institutions are FOMOing in at the last minute, whereas all these old whales, they're smart. They know what they're doing. They've been in this space a long time. They've been buying all the way back here. Okay. All up in here from Bitcoin's bottom to probably before the ETFs got approved. They bought all their Bitcoin here. So they're just kind of sitting on it, waiting to see when the Bitcoin cycle is going to top out. They know these markets extremely well, so they probably have a pretty good idea of when Bitcoin's going to top out. And it's probably not right now. I think, like the whales, I think that Bitcoin probably has quite a bit of ways to go. I don't think it's going to top out to the end of next year. But they're probably just sitting here thinking like, yeah, I'm on massive profits. I bought it 15, 20, 30,000. I don't need to sell right now. So they're probably just kind of hanging on, not doing much. Again, the old whales usually probably have a lot of Bitcoin. They have 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, whatever. So the other thing I wanted to go over here is the inflows from the Bitcoin ETFs. Ethereum ETFs are kind of a mix. You can see it's kind of mixed up here. Look, guys, again, I'm not expecting Ethereum to hit all-time highs until Q1 of next year. It could do it before that, but Bitcoin's got to hit all-time highs first. That hasn't happened yet. So the Ethereum ETFs, they're probably not going to get a lot of inflows until Bitcoin goes to whatever its first peak during the actual bull run is going to be. All right, so you guys can basically see the amount of outflows at the bottom. I'm assuming that's millions. I could be mistaken, but I'm assuming that's millions. So 563 million, whereas the inflows was basically $1 billion. So the point I want to make here is that even though the price of Bitcoin has been doing absolutely nothing except kind of chopping sideways for 6 months, you can see over the last 2 weeks, okay, the black numbers here are the inflows or flat, and the red numbers are the outflows. I can tell you guys that pretty much just by looking at this at a bird's eye view. Notice how the number of black numbers is much greater, much, much, much greater than the number of red numbers you see on the chart. And you notice that BlackRock literally has 0 red. Okay, 0. Okay, you got some outflows from Fidelity and some of these other guys, but you have no outflows whatsoever from BlackRock. Okay, and most of these numbers are either bullish or flat. I don't really think I need to say much more about this. These guys are basically, in my opinion, accumulating before the price of Bitcoin eventually rips to the moon. Okay, that's exactly what I'm seeing here. So for those of you guys that are worried about it, look, I'm not worried about it. We're not worried about it. Okay. We just loaded another position on Riot. Okay, 60 call debit spreads, and we have a massive amount of CLSK debit spreads here. Okay, we also have some additional debit spreads, CLSK, and we're probably still going to add more native crypto to our bags before the end of the year. Okay, most likely. But even if we don't, we're good. We're not worried about it because we're expecting huge paydays before the end of next year. So in terms of the charts, I want to go over kind of a little of what the charts kind of say here throughout history. Okay. So the first couple of things I want to point out here is 2 things. Okay. During this bull market, the RSI retraced to the break-even level in the bull territory, and what happened? It took off to the upside. Okay, as soon as we got a break of that trend line right at the break-even level, which we're pretty much seeing right now, the price took off, and we've been in a bull trend this whole time. Okay, higher highs, higher lows, all that jazz. The cup and handle target, or the cup and handle pattern you see here, this big, huge cup and handle pattern. Again, this is not really a Bitcoin video, but I just want to show you guys this. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Okay, let's do that. And again, this is not really even a Bitcoin video, but just to kind of show you guys like where my thought process is on this. Okay, you can see the target for the cup and handle is $125,000, which lines up with that top line right there. But, a few things stand out to me. The thing I told you guys about the RSI hitting the break even, you can see this line going back from 2017. Well, where's the peak on this thing? Going out to, I would have to zoom out a lot here on this to really kind of basically looking for that top there. You can see it's roughly about 125,000. Okay. Now it doesn't mean that Bitcoin has its top at 125,000. It could go to, like I said before, I think it's going to be somewhere between 140 to 220,000. But you have this falling channel, okay, falling broadening wedge. Could also be considered to be like some kind of, I'd have to redraw it. You guys have seen this in a previous video, but also a kind of falling microphone pattern, which again, all those patterns are bullish. Bull flag's a bullish pattern. It's got to create higher highs, higher lows, all that stuff. But throughout the different accumulation zones that this thing has had over time, and we've gone over this in the previous Bitcoin video, if I remember correctly, look at these patterns, okay? Descending triangle is a bearish pattern. What did it do? It broke down, okay? Falling wedge, or falling channel, which again is a bullish pattern. Back during that time frame, you can literally see we were getting the exact same channel for almost exactly the same amount of time. Well, this was actually a little bit longer. It was about 10 months. Kind of a very similar pattern to here. What happened when we broke out from that pattern back then? We went up. Okay, we went up, we went sideways, and then boom, took off like a rocket ship to the upside. What happened when we got sideways at the bottom of a move? Accumulation. Okay, this is where the whales are buying. Boom, price rips to the upside. Now I can go over some more patterns here. Okay, and again, this is a combination of skill sets of trading, investing, and technical analysis. Also with understanding macroeconomics. There's multiple legs, multiple facets to understanding these markets completely. So, if you only have one or two of these legs when you're looking at Bitcoin, you may be missing the whole picture here. But you guys can see the different patterns here. And again, I'm going to show you this is a falling wedge. What is a falling wedge? That's a bullish pattern. What happened? We broke out. This is a falling channel. What happened? We broke out. That's a bullish pattern. This is a rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern. It could also be considered to be a bear flag. What happened? We broke down. So we got this accumulation at the bottom of the bear market lows, mostly sideways. What happened? We shot up after that. Okay. Then you have this falling wedge, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. What happened? Boom, price ripped to the upside. Then we had this consolidation sideways after moving up. What happened after that? We moved up again, ripped to the moon. Then you got this bull pennant, little tiny bull pennant right here. It's hard to see, but it's this little thing right here. What happened? We moonshot. Okay. Then we kind of went sideways again in an uptrend. What happened? Boom, ripped to the upside. And there's like a little tiny bull flag here. It's really hard to see, but then we eventually moonshot to the upside. So the point I want to make about this is that, everybody, like even a lot of you guys, I get it. If it's your first time, you're probably worried about that. Look, I've been trading and investing for a very long time. I've seen probably hundreds, if not thousands of these same patterns. Generally speaking, they have these falling channels, bull flags have a very high probability of breakout to the upside. Plus we're heading into bullish seasonality. Plus, I've showed you the monthly returns on Bitcoin. Every September that's been green. All of Q4 has been green. Generally speaking, Q4 is very green for crypto, especially during the election years. We've gone over all this stuff. I don't know what else I can say to you about this. We're getting the curling up of the MACD, breakout of the RSI. Again, Bitcoin's not supposed to top out till 2025. We go over the yearly candles. I don't know what more you want me to say about that. Okay. You guys can make your own decisions. If you want to sell your bags early and get out because you're worried the price is going to dump, well, okay, that's your choice. I can't stop you from doing that. I will just tell you guys that we are sitting on our hands right now with the intention to accumulate more or just simply hold what we have until the bull run tops out. All right, so let's go over the max Fibonacci retracement levels. Again, this is to kind of give you guys some perspective as to what could happen. You see this little dip here. What happened? Again, this is not a perfect retracement. It overshot the retracement, but you can see from that little tiny dip right there, boom, had a massive rip to the upside. Where was the top? 4.26 or 4.236. It was at $360. Okay. and the price actually hit it. So again, the prices that I'm showing you guys here, it's not really that unrealistic. It's just a matter of, and again, it takes a very long time to really truly refine market psychology and emotional control when it comes to trading and investing. It's not easy. Okay. It's not easy. Trust me. Been through the pandemic dump, been through the crypto bear market. Okay. Went through the 2022 bear market, went through the flash crash in August. It's not pretty. It's not easy. And it's hard to, at the very least, it's hard to hold and not sell, especially at a loss, let alone buying on the dip when things look like they're going to go to zero. It's extremely hard to do, but that's what these rich whales and institutions do. Okay. They've learned mastery over control, or mastery and control over their emotions and their psyche. Okay. They're buying when there's blood in the streets, and they're selling when everybody and their brothers FOMOing in. All right. So LTCN 840, 13. Well, we got about 13. I think that was 1320, 1830, and 2150. Again, I do think these are possible. I mean, look, I know a lot of you guys out there watch Ethan Galstead. Do you think he was selling his bags when the prices were dropping? I mean, do you think he got to 9 figures by basically doing stupid stuff or allowing his emotions to control him? Probably not, would be my guess. Again, people that have those kinds of resources, they know how to control themselves. They know how to control their emotions. So 100, 155, 220, and 260. Again, my goal here is not to look, I'm not trying to patronize you guys or make you feel like, somehow you're incompetent or something like that. I'm not trying to beat you over the head or anything. Okay. I'm trying to put things into perspective for y'all so you can really truly take advantage of this bull run. Okay. Because again, once the bull run's over, end of next year, it's not going to come around for another 4 years. And it's my hope to be able to get you guys prepared ahead of the next bear run to understand these things ahead of time, so you can fully prepare and take advantage of it when it comes. Okay, so 50, 80, 108, and 125 on HSEN. ETCG, again, this is, some of the Bitcoin miners went from a couple dollars to $80. So I do think these levels are possible. If the miners could do it, then I don't see any reason why these Grayscale trusts can't do it. So 146, 246, 331, and roughly about 400. And again, I can't speak for Ethan. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a good dude. I'm just telling y'all, these whales that have a lot of money, I'm not going to say they're a robot, but they've been playing around in these markets for so long that it's easy for them to just push their emotions aside and say, oh, okay, Bitcoin's down 90%. Let me go ahead and load the bags, right? And look at TA, because a lot of these whales probably look at TA. And they have indicators and all this other stuff that they look at to determine where they think the low is. And then they just buy massively on the low and they wait for it to rip. That's just how whales do. So 76, 115, 160, and then 183. This is for ETH. And yes, I do plan on covering crypto content with you guys during the downswing of the bear market in 2026, and also the bottom of the bear market, to get you guys prepared and to help teach you how to understand how to accumulate in these markets when the prime opportunity presents itself. So 51, 80, 110, 126. Again, I think we're in the midst of getting ready to explode to the upside and hit that parabolic bull run, the final leg, which is going to be the next roughly about 15 months. And I just don't see any reason why there should be a bear market around the corner. It just doesn't make any sense. And I take a look at a lot of different things, it would make your guys' head spin around if you knew how many things we were looking at in terms of markets. It's crazy. You guys would pass out. But I just am not seeing a bear market on the horizon anytime soon. Not for stocks, not for crypto, not for anything, not for the economy. Okay. 666, 1060, you got 1480, 1710 on Phil G, File G, whatever you prefer to call it. So we got GLIV here. I don't really know anything about this project, but if it can make money, hey, great. That's the other thing about crypto. If you get into a crypto project, again, not financial advice, but it may not be a bad idea to do your research. So 127, 195, 263, and roughly about 310. Okay, G-Link. So we got 350, 540, 740, and then we'll just call that one roughly about 870. Again, I think all of these targets are possible. I mean, if I just do this kind of local retracement here, you guys can see that, I mean, from this swing high to the swing low down here, what happened? It went up and pretty much landed right in between the top two fibs. So these Fibonacci's do work. It's just a question of whether the price is actually going to hit those levels or not. So GSOL, roughly about 800. You got 1120, 1410, and then 1620 respectively. Okay, let's go with GXLM. So roughly about 150, 250, 335, and 400. And I know, guys, Bitcoin's been boring for 6 months. It's been doing a whole lot of nothing. I mean, look, I'm even surprised that it's been doing nothing around the highs for 6 months. It's quite shocking. I was not expecting this, but like I said, I had a lot of time to think about it. And look, I think they're just trying to reset the price so they can run it up for the next 15 months while they have time to accumulate. I mean, it just makes sense. If I was a whale, that's exactly what I would do. So 110, 176, 240, and then 277 respectively. Okay, so last one we got here is Zcash. All right, so we got 65, 100, 140, and then the top level up here is 162. Look, I mean, we're in this too. We got bags loaded to the teeth for this bull run as well. You guys are not the only ones. So, I mean, we've showed you our positions. We're also invested in these markets. So, I mean, look, I'm not really sweating anything that's going on right now. Again, we study crypto, futures, forex, stocks. We do technical analysis, macroeconomics, pattern trading, day trading, swing trading, options. Just about every market and every facet of finance that you can think of, we look at. Okay, just about everything you can think of. And I can't say this is a guarantee this is going to happen. Okay, but I give it like a 95 to 99% probability that in the next 3 to 15 months, Bitcoin and crypto are going to be at all-time highs. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.